Hi, this is Hillary Parrish. I'm doing a needs assessment for EDTC 6342 in Dr. Evans' class, and this is fall 2014. Some areas of concern that I discussed with some of the administrators in the technology department were training, mainly training for the teachers, differing knowledge and levels among teachers. Some teachers have been teaching students with iPads and some teachers have not, so there's differing levels. Also, some teachers are more technology savvy just because they dive in and try it, and even though they may fail, they still choose to try it, and some do not. Preparation for more iPads on campus. Each year we roll out another class that has iPads. And so right now, the 6th and 7th graders have iPads, and the 9th and 10th graders have iPads. And so next year, we'll roll out another grade of iPads at the junior high and at the high school. And so preparation for that with bandwidth and speed, as well as training. Instructional technology assisting with enhancing technology in the classroom. They want the instructional technologists to be able to help with enhancing technology in the classroom, but the instructional technologist is also busy helping students with iPads and assisting with getting things fixed, so sort of like a part-time tech person. So that is an issue right now. And then student workflow. Students know how to work on their computers and their iPads as far as social network and how to communicate, but they don't necessarily know how to organize and turn things in, how to use Google, Apple proficiently. This is Key Area 1, Teaching and Learning, for my Texas Star Chart Summary spreadsheet. Although the third year we show as advanced tech, you can see in the yellow that for the technology application TEKS implementation, that there's still a pretty low number of a consistent 2 for the past 2 years. So that is something that we looked at. Something else we were looking at in Key Area 2 for educator preparation and development was access to professional development and professional development for online learning. I have both of those shown in yellow. Now, access to professional development started out as a 1 and did increase to a 2, but professional development for online learning has consistently stayed a 2 for the past 3 years. And even last year, it has stayed as developing technology. So what we want to look at is having more access for professional development for our teachers and professional development for online learning so that the teachers can make sure that they have access to the professional development that they need. And so some of my questions were directed toward this. Key Area 3 was leadership, administration, and instructional support. This started out as a developing tech, but changed to advanced tech for the past 2 years, so there are no questions really directed toward this key area. For Key Area 4, Infrastructure for Technology, what we really focused on was the local area network, because although it did go up to a 3 2 years ago, last year it went back down to a 2, and that could have been because the additional rollout of the iPads got more students with iPads taking up more bandwidth. So we need to look at how we can make sure that we have enough bandwidth for everyone, especially since we're doing another rollout for another grade on 2 campuses next year. So my first question just focused on a demographic question, which was how many years have you been teaching, including this year? And most teachers have been teaching 21 years or longer, with the second place spot tied for 5 to 10 years and 11 to 15 years. My second question was also a demographic question, which was currently what grade level do you primarily teach? And so it was primarily high school teachers that answered this. I had another category just in case, and surprisingly, several people actually choose other, and it was when they taught across several grade levels. My third question was for the teachers to assess themselves on how often they have students use technology in their classroom, and the most was 4 to 5 times per week. So 60% answered that as 4 to 5 times per week. And then there was a tie for second place as once a week and then every once in a while. So it's kind of a big jump there. My next question was, in which of the following would you like to receive training? It did not surprise me that the top two were Google Drive and the iPad as a teaching tool, because we use iPads on a regular basis. All teachers have iPads, and then most of the students have iPads. We are also a bring your own device campus, so the 2 grade levels that do not have iPads can bring their own device. Google Drive, we rolled that out this year, where all students have their own Google email account for the campus, and students are allowed to use Google Drive as their space for saving their documents. So this question actually did not surprise me, as where teachers wanted the training. So the next question was to rate the Wi-Fi connection, with 1 being really bad and 10 being really great. And it kind of fell in the middle. I think for the most part, the Wi-Fi is pretty reliable, but sometimes you hit it and it can be very slow. And I think that's kind of where this rating had come from. On this particular question, I wanted to see what percentage of people had tried to get on the Wi-Fi and they just could not get on it at all. And so it was a greater percentage of people that could not get on at least one time than that had just not ever had that problem. With this question, I wanted to see what the reason was that teachers say it deterred them from using technology in their classroom, because sometimes we don't necessarily know the reason why a teacher doesn't use technology. We're just thinking, okay, that teacher doesn't use technology, but we don't necessarily know why. So one of the top 2 answers here were lack of resources and lack of bandwidth. And then second in line from those were lack of time. Of course, teachers do lack time in all areas with many things, because teachers constantly are pulled different ways to do different things. Lack of resources actually surprised me, but there may be a differentiation there that I am unaware of. And then lack of bandwidth, of course, was shown from a previous question where there was sometimes that the Wi-Fi was slower. With this question, I wanted to give teachers freedom to show their thoughts as far as what would make their life easier in order to implement technology into the classroom, if they could just name one thing. And so this is sort of a sample of what they put, and most of it relates back to what they have already answered before. And so you see here that they've given samples such as more time, one-to-one iPads, which most of our students do already have, but not all of them, which can be complicated in a mixed classroom where you have some students that they have iPads and some of them don't. And so our campus is not totally one-to-one, or our district is not totally one-to-one yet. Better connectivity, internet connection, time and know-how, so more training there, more bandwidth, and then newer technology. So some of the computers haven't been updated, and I think that there is a plan to do that. Okay, this question is what training needs to be available to students so that using technology in your classroom would be easier to implement. Rating at the top is basic computer function. Some students have just never used a computer before, or maybe never used an iPad before, and so they are lacking in those skills. And then coming in second for a tie is keyboarding and then Google Drive training. Students, it would take longer for them to complete their assignments without the proper keyboarding training, because they're hunting and pecking the keys. And then the Google Drive training, the students may not necessarily know how, like I said earlier, to turn in their assignments or to organize properly with their folders and things like that. And sharing with their teachers could be a problem if they haven't been properly trained on how to use Google Drive for workflow. Okay, this is another question that I left open-ended to just see what teachers put as far as what is their favorite way to implement technology into their classroom, because I believe that most teachers usually do technology, at least some of the time, allow the students to use technology. And so if they have their favorite ways to allow students to do that, then they're more likely to allow students to use technology. So this is a sampling of their answers. They have Memeos. This person said, I love to let the kids share what they know. iPads, meaningfully, which doesn't give us much of an answer. Review, all things Google Docs. So this person is using Google Docs in their classroom. And then using CBL. All right, thank you for watching my needs assessment for Center ISD. I hope you enjoyed it.